far as the world of sports is concerned as we chat to you about what's happening. Let's give you some picks. We haven't done that yet. We gave you the over-unders. Let's give you some picks, and let's give you a little sense of who we like in the postseason as far as divisions and all those kinds of things, and see if we can give you a World Series pick. And I'll go through it here division by division as we begin the day. There are two games going on right now. The Cubs lead the Marlins, and the Mets lead the Cardinals, and everything else has kind of just begun. A lot of letter games here today. So that's the scenario from that. Okay, now, as far as the divisions are concerned, let's start in the American League, and let's start, if we can, with the American League East. And, you know, both teams are going to make the playoffs. So the first thing you have to decide is how many teams are going to go out there and which one of the two teams is going to go out there and win the division. I mean, it's a Red Sox and the and a Yankees scenario. I mean, obviously the Red Sox are in a situation right now. They won 91.5 last year. They added J.D. Martinez, and the Red Sox have a team that is obviously the team can score some runs. Obviously, no home runs last year. Here's Martinez, maybe to add some. They do have the two top guys in the rotation. Price is very, very key. Then you got Sale on top of that. So I think the Red Sox will be in a spot here where, you know, they will be good. Now, I will not pick them to win the division. I will pick the Yankees to win the American League East. But I think both will be over 90. I think, you know, listen, I don't like Tampa. You know, Baltimore doesn't have great pitching. Toronto lost Tulowitzki today for 60 days. If you didn't see that, look at their lineup. Not good. They're going to rely on their starting pitching to see if they can be at least competitive. So the division isn't great, the other three teams. So the Yankees and Red Sox should get off to a good start from the other teams that they play. Boston's in Tampa. Yankees are in Toronto this first weekend. And I'll pick the Yankees to win the East, and I'll pick the Red Sox to finish second. I will pick both to be in the postseason. But I will pick the Yankees to win the American League East. I think they got a better lineup than the Red Sox do. They have a better bullpen than the Red Sox do. And though their starting pitching at the top end isn't as good as the Red Sox, because I think you got to take Sale and Price over Tanaka and Severino, and it's close. But you got to take Sale over Severino and Tanaka and Price. You know, kind of it's a wash to a certain degree. I'll give a touch of an edge to the Red Sox. I think the Yankees 3, 4, or 5 might be a little better than the Red Sox. Porcello, Eddie Rodriguez for the Red Sox. You know, who knows? And you know where the Yankees are with Sabathia, Sonny Gray, who's good, and then of course maybe Jordan Montgomery down the road. So the Yankees have a little better depth of starting pitching, and they got a better lineup, and they got a better bullpen. So you put those three things together, that will override the Red Sox edge in the top of the rotation. So the Red Sox, maybe a little younger and, maybe a little better 8, because the Yankees are going to, they got issues with Bird and Neil Walker and Chris Drury. And, they got a couple guys they're going to play here, Tyler Wade, that you'd be a little worried about early. But I think their Yankees will win the division, and I'll pick the Red Sox second. They do play the last weekend of the year, by the way, in Fenway Park. And they have a couple series here in the month of April. I'll take the Yankees in the American League East. I can't find a team to challenge the Indians in the American League Central. I don't think the Indians are going to be as good as they were a year ago, but I can find a team. Obviously the bottom three stink. Kansas City, White Sox, and Detroit. I mean, Detroit's got a couple of players left from the old days with Cabrera, Victor Martinez, and what have you. But they're in a sort of they're in a rebuild mode. Kansas City is sort of an in-between team. Hosmer's out of there, Kane's out of there, but they still have a few of those guys back who won 2 championships or 1 championship and a pennant, and that is Moustakas and Alex Gordon and Perez. Perez is out 6 weeks, by the way. He got hurt yesterday. He sprained his MCL, slipped in his house after he came back from spring training. So that's a blow for them. So those three teams are not that great. White Sox might have a little promise, but they're a ways away. So that leaves you the Twins, and I don't think the Twins are going to catch the Indians because I don't love their starting rotation. Fernando Rodney and Addison Reed in that bullpen are not as good as Andrew Miller and Cody Allen. So from that perspective, you have to like the Twins to win, the Indians win the American League Central, and see where the Twins are for that last wild card spot. And then, of course, Houston. I don't see how you don't take Houston. 97.5 is their over-under number in Vegas. I think they're hungry. We've discussed this a lot in spring training. Altuve's got his big contract. He's not a guy that's going to rest on his laurels. The team loves Altuve. They take their cue from him. You know, Springer, Correa, Bregman, and Altuve. Gurriel is a very good fivesome. They got Verlander, Keuchel, Cole, top of the rotation. I also got McCullers and Morton sitting there who are pretty good. I don't love their bullpen. I understand that. You got to figure that maybe they won't be quite as good, but still, the Astros are, they probably have to be the favorite. The Astros or Yankees have to be the favorite to win the American League, but they're going to win the division. So you got the Astros, Indians, and the Yankees. Red Sox are going to be the one wild card, most would think. And the other wild card, that's where there's a little drama. And whether it's the Angels or Ohtani, by the way, will bat 8th today against the Athletics as a DH, and he'll pitch on Sunday. You have Ohtani with the Angels and some additions offensively. You got Toronto, who's got some pitching. You have Minnesota that made the playoffs last year. I don't know who that 5th team is going to be. Logic would say you got to take the Angels based on the fact that with Trout and Upton and Cozart from the Reds and Kinsler, maybe a little Pujols. There's something there. So yeah, logic would say take the Angels. You got a good manager, so I'll take them to be the other wild card with the Red Sox. But still, I'm not doing that with a lot of confidence. But I'll take the Angels. NL. And the East is easy. I don't know how you go away from the Nationals. I think the Mets are going to be better, but I don't know how you go away from the Nationals. Scherzer, Strasburg, top of the rotation. Bullpen organized from day one. Last year it wasn't the case. They got a very good 8. Eaton maybe doesn't get hurt. He plays left field. That lets Turner play shortstop. Speed, top of the lineup. Michael Taylor had a good year last year. No Worth, which is a plus because he's always hurt and old. And then you still got Rendon and Bryce Harper and Ryan Zimmerman and David Murphy on a DL to start the year, but still Murphy eventually. The Nationals are a good team. Now their deal is going to be October, but they're going to get there. The Cubs are going to get there too. The Cardinals. I didn't like what I saw to Carlos Martinez today, and I tell you, Adrian Gonzalez is hitting like it's 98 he's playing a great job for the Mets today, and I love Gonzalez. But the got 3 hits, 2 hits and a walk. But the scenario with the Cubs, it's hard to think that the Cubs are not going to win that division. I don't love their starting pitching. Schwarber still can't catch a fly ball, but they got a lot of young players. With Happ now hit a home run on the first pitch he saw today, by the way, top of the first inning. And of course with Bryant and Rizzo and Addison Russell and Baez, that is a pretty good team. And the Cards and Brewers, are still kind of stuck in the mid-80s scenario. Cardinals today signed Greg Holland to a 1-year, $14 million contract. Maybe he could be their answer in the closer spot in the 9th inning. I'll have to wait and see on that. But as far as the division is concerned, you got to take the Cubs. And then, of course, in the West, you got to take L.A. Until further notice, I think you got to take the Dodgers. The fact is that Arizona, I think, has slipped. No J.D. Martinez to start the year. Sousa's hurt, the guy they got to replace him. So that's a problem. The Rockies, you got to wonder if they can do it second year in a row. They've fortified their bullpen, but their starting rotation's a bunch of kids. And the Giants just lost Bumgarner, and San Diego's not ready yet. So you got to take L.A. So L.A., Cubs, and the Nationals, the 3 teams in the to win the divisions, and of course the wild card in the National League. I think that's where there's a little drama there too, because you got 2 teams to choose from here instead of just one, like you do in the junior circuit. You got 2 teams here, and you can go any way you want. You can go Colorado and St. Louis. You want to go Arizona and Milwaukee. You want to go Mets and somebody. Go any way you want as far as the scenario is concerned for the 2 teams in the NL. I'll take the Mets and I'll take the Cardinals. The Cardinals have not made the playoffs 3 straight years. They haven't done that in 20 years. So they have very rarely gone through a 3-year period where they haven't gotten in. So I think they'll figure out a way to get to that extra game. And the Met pitching, to me, is going to be good enough, and I think healthy enough for a change to win a wild card spot. The Mets are either going to win 90 games or 70 games. I don't think the Mets are going in between. They're either going to have a good year where everything is copacetic, they're healthy, they're into it, blah, 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 Cespedes, and they win 90, or they're going to fall off the rails again and win 70. I'll go 90 first as far as the Mets are concerned, and I think the Cardinals will be there with them. So those are my 5 in the NL, with the Cubs and the Dodgers and the Nationals and the Cardinals and the Mets. And the American League. I'll pick a Yankee Astro ALCS. I'm going to pick a Met National NLCS, believe it or not. I think the Nationals are due to get out of a round. I think the Mets starting pitching, the top two, is better than any top two in the National League outside of Washington. I think it's better than Lester and Kyle Hendricks. I think it's better than Kershaw and Rich Hill or Alex Wood. I think DeGrom and Syndergaard, and if they make the postseason, they will be good. I think those two guys are good enough. So I will go Met National NLCS. I went Mets last year and I got burned. I'll try them again, at least to this level. But I think Washington, I'm going to go crazy, be different. Sure, I can pick a Dodger-Yankee World Series. Why not? You could take any one of that 7 combination and be fairly safe. I'll try to be a little different, and I'll look at New York to make a little run, but I'll take the Nationals. And I know it's crazy, but sooner or later, they're going to win a series. They're too good a team to get snake bit. I mean, they've lost 3 Game 5s, all at home, and they lost a tough series to the Giants, who ended up winning a World Series that year. I mean, sooner or later, the ball's going to bounce the Nationals' way, and they're going to get a series here. And once they do that, they get the one, they might all of a sudden take a big sigh, take a big breath, and away they go. So from that standpoint, I'll take a national situation in the National League, and I'll go Yankees in the American League. I think they have only $167 million payroll. I'll go Yankees, Astros, and I'll take the Yankees. They only have $167 million payroll. They can add if they want in July without any issues with luxury tax, and then it rechecks the following next year so they don't get taxed as much off being over that cap number 197. That's why they wanted to get down below it. I will take a Yankee Astro ALCS, and I think the Yankees will beat them. They could have beaten them last year. You can't expect Verlander to be as good again. I don't like the Astro bullpen, while I like the Yankee bullpen a lot more. Yankees came awfully close. I mean, really a millimeter of beating them last year in the ALCS. Frazier's ball leaves the park in Game 6 against Verlander. They win that series in 6 games. It didn't happen, so they, the Astros won a Game 7 at home, and the Astros got, they got a lot of moxie. We all know that. But I'll take a run at the Yankees. I'll put the whammy on them as well, which means if they don't win, I can tell you I can enjoy that. If they do win, I can tell you I told you so all summer, so I can't lose either way. So I'll take a Yankee National World Series, and I can't take the Yankees to win the whole thing because that will bother me too much. So I will sit there and I will take a Washington championship in 2018. Now, that's asking a lot. You can take any one of the 7 if you wish, in the Super 7 as they're called. But I will take the Nats to win the whole thing over the Yankees. That's what I'll do. Last year, now, don't run to the bank, okay? You know why? You know what my World Series team was last year? You know what my matchup was? You're going to laugh when I tell you. And he's a baseball guy. You know what my matchup was? Tigers-Mets. You're right. Tigers-Mets. Now, before you laugh too much, remember, Indians to win it all 2 years ago, cashed in because I hedged. Giants to win it all 2010, no hedge, and I cashed in. So there you go. Keep that in mind, folks. Keep that in mind. Good to have you with us on this busy day. Mets lead. We got other games going on, too. Chris Lepresti at Sports Bite. Half past here on Mad Dog Russo-MLB.